People's Republic of China.
War criminal. He is a war criminal. The blood of 40,000 people is on his hands. The blood of 40,000 Palestinians is on his hands. He is a war criminal. He is a war criminal.
I have to say, yes, the extremely wrong-headed decision by the ICC prosecutor yesterday, the shameful equivalence implied between Hamas and the leadership of Israel, I think that only complicates the prospects for getting such an agreement.
Right, so today something really interesting happened. War criminal Antony Blinken, who also happens to be the Secretary of State for America, was appearing before a Senate committee for hearing. There were few standout moments that I noticed. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. It lasted for about 3 hours. Such was the embarrassment for Blinken, and rightly so, that even the State Department had to stop the live broadcast of it. And it only broadcast in 2 chunks. First was about 7 minutes, and second one was also about like 7 to 9 minutes. And that's it, even though the entire broadcast was for about 3 hours. What happened? As soon as he walks in, a protest, he is met with protest.
Secretary of Genocide has entered the room.
How embarrassing.
War criminal.
Tens of thousands. War criminal.
What an embarrassment to international law.
Genocide enabler.
How sick.
Complicit in genocide. War criminal. War criminal.
The blood of 40,000 Palestinians is on your hands.
War criminal. Enabling genocide in Gaza.
The blood of 40,000
Murderer.
Palestinians is on your hands.
Butcher
Genocide.
Blinken.
War criminal.
Butcher Blinken. War criminal.
War criminal.
The blood of over 40,000 Palestinians is on your hands. Bloody Butcher Blinken. Your genocide is your legacy.
The Senate Foreign Relations Committee come to order.
And people who had their hand filled with red color, implying that Blinken's hands are filled with bloods of Palestinians. He is called war criminals. He is called butcher of Gaza. And he is called, many other names. You can see from this video, as and when, a protester shouts loud slogans criticizing Blinken and his despicable role in Gaza, that protested is taken out of the room by the security forces. You can see these developments. These are very, very interesting developments.
Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Graham, Vice Chair Collins, Chair Murray, very good to be with all of you today on this committee. I thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to testify before you. And
I recognize people feel passionately. We must have order in this room.
the People's Republic of China is pursuing military.
Was 6 years old when Israelis killed her. His Rwanda was 6 years old. Blinken, you will be remembered as the butcher of Gaza. You will be remembered for murdering innocent Palestinians.
The person, will the officer please remove the person who's making these comments? If anyone who's speaking, please be removed. Mr. Secretary, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I was saying, the People's Republic of China.
He is a war criminal. He is a war criminal. The blood of 40,000 people is on his hands. The blood of 40,000 Palestinians is on his hands. He is a war criminal. He is a war criminal. Blinken is a war criminal. The blood of 40,000 people is on his hands. The blood of 40,000 He is a war criminal.
Mr. Secretary, you may continue.
The People's Republic of China is pursuing military, economic, and geopolitical preeminence, challenging our vision for a free, open, secure, and prosperous international order.
So he made a speech for 7 minutes. In that, he briefly mentions Gaza. But then he was asked a question about Gaza by the chairman of the committee. And no prize for guessing. The question was in relation to the application for arrest warrant for Netanyahu and his defense minister, at the ICC by the prosecutor Karim Khan Kesi yesterday. That was the question. And see what happens when the chairman asks the question and how this guy responds.
The ICC ruling yesterday, I'd like to get your view on it. I see it as a step in the wrong direction. That's going to make it more challenging for us to get the parties together. There's always been an understanding the ICC is there to deal with countries that don't have an independent judiciary. Israel has an independent judiciary. They did not give the Israelis an opportunity. We thought there was that opportunity going to take place this week. I want to get your assessment as to how you see the current situations in light of what just happened at the ICC, as to whether we are on track to continue to negotiate in regards to the hostages and pause in the hostilities.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look, we see the effort to get a ceasefire and the release of hostages as the best, most effective way forward, both in getting hostages home, in creating an environment in which the people of Gaza can get more of the assistance they so desperately need, and a platform for which to build a more enduring solution that provides genuine security for Israel and meets the needs of the Palestinian people. There's been an extensive effort made in recent months to get that agreement. I think we've come very, very close on a couple of occasions. Qatar, Egypt, others participating in the efforts to do this. We remain at it every single day. I think that there's still a possibility, but it's challenged by a number of events. And I have to say, yes, the extremely wrong-headed decision by the ICC prosecutor yesterday, the shameful equivalence implied between Hamas and the leadership of Israel, I think that only complicates the prospects for getting such an agreement. We'll continue to forge ahead to do that, but that decision, as you said, on so many levels is totally wrong-headed. And we'll be happy to work with Congress, with this committee, on an appropriate response.
Now, I always say that these congressional committee or the Senate committee hearing is a kind of internal meetings of two different groups of employees of the same employer. So here the employer is Israel, and they have two groups of employees, one belonging to Republican, other belonging to Democrats, and they both get together to criticize and question each other. But at the end of the day, they are unanimous, and there is a unity on one thing, that they are the employees of Israel. Don't just take my words for it. This is exactly what the Republican senator says. He said, look, we may be having differences on other issues, but right now, we are unanimous on the question of our loyalty to Israel. This is exactly what he implied when he said this. And Blinken replies saying that, look, yes, for every other thing we may have differences, but on the question of Israel, our masters, our paymasters, let's have a bipartisan approach. That's what he says.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me start there. Sometimes we don't agree on stuff, but I got to tell you, on the ICC, you got it exactly right. Your characterization of it being shameful equivalence that they have engaged in yesterday is actually stunning. As you know, in the last administration, the Trump people did an executive order to do sanctions on certain members of the ICC who were investigating us for things that happened in Afghanistan. President Biden's administration came in and dissolved that executive order, as you know. For your information, you probably know about this, but there's a number of us up here that are working on a legislative approach to this that includes not only the Afghanistan question, but also includes the question of the ICC sticking its nose in the business of countries that have an independent, legitimate, democratic judicial system. And obviously they violated that yesterday. Can you support this? Obviously, you want to see the devil's in the details, obviously, in the legislation, but do you think you can support a legislative approach to this?
Senator Risch, in short, let's look at it. We want to work with you on a bipartisan basis.
So you can see, I mean, the joke that is America is being played on all of us at the cost of 35,000 to 40,000 people's death, brutal murder in Gaza by Israel. And these jokers want you to believe that they care about democracy, they care about free speech. They have something called First Amendment. First Amendment, a country which has First Amendment, which gives you the right to free speech, is a country where they're brutally suppressing the protest of pro-Palestinian students up and down America. We've seen the visuals, the brutal suppression. So that joke is being played on us on every day. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.